This is my space, my setup, and for the last 4 years, my home. Packing a top-spec gaming PC, super fast ultra-wide gaming monitor, and some of the best speakers I've ever heard, this setup really has been my dream come true. But now the time has come to move on. It's time to start packing this stuff up, moving it across to the new place, and starting afresh. But before I go, I almost want to give this one last send-off, and I want to show you guys exactly what I've been using for the last few years. And when you combine them all together, this is the PC Centric Setup 2019. Now the first thing that you'll no doubt notice is the display, which I'll immediately say isn't perfect, but it is about as close to it as I can personally get for what I need. It's called the LG 34GK950F, and for most people, it's arguably the best gaming monitor on the planet right now. A bold claim, sure, but when you combine all of the top-end features and a somewhat reasonable asking price, it's actually quite easy to recommend. Now LG sent out this sample for review earlier this year, which you can watch by the way by hitting the eye in the top right hand corner of your screen, and I've actually been using this as my daily pretty much ever since. It's packing a 34-inch IPS screen that sports a resolution of 3440 by 1440 with a refresh rate of 144 Hz. And it's this killer combination that really makes the display worth every penny, as it's not only super practical for work thanks to the ginormous display, but the super fast and responsive panel also makes it ideal for gaming, even for something super competitive like Apex Legends. And ultra-wide displays aren't essential, but to me I just find them so invaluable, as they really are great for pretty much everything you can throw at it, and the support that's out there now for ultra-wide, even like the native Netflix application will support ultra-wide if you're watching ultra-wide content, so it's not only great for work, entertainment, gaming, pretty much everything. And speaking of PC gaming, we of course have to talk about my gaming computer. Now I mainly play competitive Battle Royale, with Apex Legends and PUBG taking centre stage, but I am a sucker for a game or two of Civilization 6. And normally when I say a game or two, I'm of course speaking metaphorically, whereas this time I literally mean a game or two, because they last about 20 hours each at least. If you ever need to get something done, don't play Civilization 6. Trust me. I've actually just rebuilt my PC into an entire new enclosure, and I've begun the build that will hopefully represent my finest PC work to date. I'm now using the Phanteks Enthoo 719 case, and it is huge. This was actually originally designed for use with dual systems, but I asked Overclockers UK to send this to me as it has some of the best airflow in a closed case I think I've ever seen, and with so much room to spare, it's pretty much screaming to be water-cooled with some crazy new loop that I'll be doing in the new year. Now on the inside, it's packing the game-demolishing RTX 2080 Ti Strix, 10-core Intel 7900X CPU, 64GB of HyperX RGB memory, and then some high-performance Corsair ML RGB fans. All of these were review units, and if you do want to learn a little bit more about this PC, maybe view its benchmarks or look at some of the parts in greater detail, then you can hit the card in the top right hand corner of your screen now, or hit my Amazon affiliate links that are listed down in the description below. Now moving on to speakers, this is something I've always been proud of because I am a little bit of an audiophile, and these ones aren't actually made anymore, but they've just been slightly updated. There's not really too much different about them. They're the Bowers & Wilkins 685 S2s. So these have since been replaced by the now present 606. This really doesn't stop them from dominating not only my games and music, but also the desk space, as these things are enormous. I always say to people that it really is worth investing in the best speakers that you can afford, as unlike pretty much all other tech, bookshelf speakers never really tend to go out of date, and a good set could literally last you for decades. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum though, there is also another speaker on my desk. A lot smaller, this is the Google Home Mini. I have this paired with my smart home to not only take notes and ask random questions, but to control the lighting in my studio with various different smart bulbs and plugs. I use mainly LifeX for my smart lighting, but sometimes I have Philips Hue and other places too, so it is great that Google can control both of these at exactly the same time. And pretty much everything in my home is now connected to the internet some way or another. Maybe it's a smart speaker with a cool assistant in it, my network attached storage, but now I'm moving to things like smart doorbells and even an internet connected photo frame, which is fantastic, but it does raise a couple of questions about security. And this is exactly why Zurich Insurance got in touch and wanted to sponsor this video, because the more and more we connect things to each other, the higher the risk of falling victim to cybercrime. So it's imperative to stay in control and take precautions. And my main bit of advice really when we're talking about this topic is to make sure that you turn on two-step authentication on all of the accounts that support it. So the way this works is pretty simple and it doesn't really take any extra effort at all. If you're logging into, say, your Google account, then my phone on a new device will come up with a little prompt and it will say some new device is trying to log into your account. This is the device, this is where it's located, is this you? While we're on the topic of passwords, please make sure you're not using the same password across multiple websites, as this is one of the easiest ways to fall victim to crime. Maybe try using a password manager, many of which are free and built into, say, Apple or Google systems, and then you just have one master password that you don't use anywhere else, and it will automatically generate all of these different passwords that you don't know and can't compromise yourself on all of these different websites. And as long as you've got two-step authentication and you remember your master password, you'll have access to them everywhere you go. Don't forget to change your passwords regularly too. Every 90 days is recommended. The last thing that I should mention, and something that's very easy to keep putting off, is those updates for all of your different devices, in particular your smartphone. You'll probably notice that they come up and it's very easy to say postpone, 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 but this is actually a very bad idea because if there's a security update, it's always for a known thing. So by not doing this, if someone is able to take advantage of this, it could put you at a great risk. So please make sure that you keep those updates coming, as this is one of the best ways to keep your devices protected. If you do want to learn a little bit more, then Zurich Insurance have a really great article. You can find this linked down in the description below. They'll hopefully tell you everything you need to know and show you how to keep yourself safe and secure online. Moving back to the setup, here's something I haven't really spoken about yet. The keyboard. Logitech's G915. It's actually really hard to put into words just how I feel about this, as on one hand I adore it, and I feel I've finally found a keyboard that's just as good for fast typing as it is for gaming. It's also fully wireless with fantastic battery life, and it really does look fabulous thanks to the per key RGB backlighting. But then on the other hand, this keyboard is over £200, which I know it's fully wireless, it's mechanical, it's low profile, it's all of these things, but over £200 seems way too much for anybody to spend on a keyboard. When you think you can buy a graphics card for less money for that, and for a lot of people this would be an upgrade in itself, I'm not really sure this is representing great value. Now my mouse game also sticks with the Logitech theme, which no, isn't an ad. They have sent out all of these review samples, but they do make some of the best as far as I'm concerned. I primarily use the Logitech G900 as my personal gaming mouse of choice, with its standout sensor and wireless freedom, allowing my hand to glide all the way across my desk, racking up downs in Gears of War 5, while lasting long enough that I only really need to charge it about once a week. Logitech also sent out their MX Master 3 a little bit earlier this year after they invited me to their design studio in Switzerland, where they actually paid for my trip to see how they're designed and tested. And I wasn't really expecting to have this on my desk past the initial review period, but I have switched to this for editing purely because it is so comfortable to use over long sessions. Headset wise, I am a very simple man. I'm still using these, the Corsair HS70. The reason for this is pretty simple, and that's just because it's the perfect balance in my book for PC gaming. The audio quality is not the best of the best, but it's very good, with a clear microphone and excellent sound reproduction for games. When Corsair originally sent this out, they actually also dropped off a headphone stand, the ST100, and I really did think this was a little bit of a joke at first, but to be fair, I actually wouldn't want to be without this now, because not only is it very well constructed, good looking, and a very useful perch for your cans, it also has a USB 3 hub inside that makes connecting all of those wireless receivers a whole lot easier. And something else I don't think I've talked about at all yet really is this camera. The new one, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K. And as the name suggests, it is 6K. It shoots 6K in up to 50 frames per second, and it is brand new for 2019. Now I actually swapped over from Sony's A6500, which does have a beautiful 4K image that far punches above its weight, but when it comes to ease of use, there is just no comparison at all, with a Blackmagic just gliding in and out of service thanks to the very grippy body, snappy responsiveness, and then crystal clear touchscreen navigation. The file sizes are frankly ridiculous, as I'm now looking at around about 250 to 500 gigabytes of project now, but thankfully there is a solution: external SSD recording. Here I'm using two SSDs that Samsung very helpfully sent out, so you can keep track of all of your footage very easily and then take it straight over to your PC for editing. Nice. Drilling down into a little bit more minute detail, we here have the Elgato Stream Deck Mini, again sent out by Corsair for review. And this one was definitely a little bit of a weird one for me, as it's something I use all of the time, yet I had absolutely no idea quite what it would do for me until I actually had it on my desk. So everyone probably knows that you can use this to set up actions for recording or streaming, but I personally find it a really easy way to quickly switch from the headset to the speakers in-game with just a touch of a button, maybe turn on my studio lighting, as well as controlling GeForce Experience recording options. Now, as for this chair, I've been using this for quite a few years now, and it is the Noblechairs ICON Tan Leather, which is actually really comfortable for a gaming chair. And while it may not be quite as good for your back, or maybe quite as office ready, shall we say, as something like a really expensive Herman Miller, this is by far the best gaming chair I've ever used, and if you are in the market for one, I do highly recommend them. Overclockers UK sent this out to me a few years back, and honestly, every single time I've been offered a brand new chair, I've turned it down, as I just love this one oh so much. And that is it for the setup. As we close 2019, we close the door on this setup. This is going to get turned into a bedroom now because I've moved out. How sad. But if you want this to live on, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this particular studio setup. Is this exactly what you would go for? Probably not. I'm sure there are things you would do differently. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you want me to do with the new one, by the way? Let me know down in those comment section below. Thank you so much for everyone that has been checking out these videos from this studio. It means everything to me. I hope you'll join me from the new place. Hit the links for more information on anything featured. I'll see you in the next one.